Hi, my name is Noreen Gumbo and I'm Head of Humanitarian at Trócaire.
Yeah, and how long are you involved in this international development sector long?
Yes, I have worked since the last 27 years in the development sector. Yeah, I suppose a long time in Southern Africa and back in Ireland for the last 5 years.
And was with Trócaire or other organisations as well?
I started out as a volunteer teacher in Africa many moons ago. I've been working with Trócaire for the last 10 years.
Okay, and why are you here today?
Well,
why are we organising this?
Well, this vigil has been organised as a show of solidarity with the people of Syria and the region of the Middle East that have been so much impacted by the crisis in Syria. We are supporting people who have left Syria and who have left Iraq and have fled to neighbouring countries, and some of who are trying to make their way onwards to Europe. When they left, they thought it would be for a couple of months. Now we're at the 5th anniversary of the war. It has wreaked havoc. As people have seen on their television screens, it's just as bad as it looks.
It's unbelievable, and you don't really need community journalists like me to publicise, because it's on the television so often.
Exactly, and I don't think, the Irish population have been very generous in their support of this crisis, but the scale of the needs are so large that really what we need is a political solution. What we can do in the meantime is show solidarity and offer people short-term relief and assistance.
Is it true, I read the other day, that most of the aid to help people hasn't got through most of the time in the last year?
There are areas in Syria, so within Syria we estimate that there are about 4.7 million people who require assistance in really difficult, hard to reach places. Now in the last couple of weeks there has been some success, and with the more recent ceasefire, in accessing those hard to reach places, but we know that there are many people within Syria that are impossible to reach given the current situation.
And are you involved in the politics of, or as advocates for the politics side of it?
Well, absolutely. We are calling on the government of Ireland to put pressure on the EU to bring about a political solution to this crisis.
And do you think the UN Security Council has the biggest kind of role to play?
The UN Security Council certainly has a role to play in bringing together the governments that are involved in this crisis, and we know that if there was enough political will, they could bring an end to it.
And it's Russia and China, isn't it, that keep on blocking the decisions?
Well, there are a number of countries involved, a whole range of countries, and maybe, they're playing out some other type of war or conflict. The US is involved, Saudi Arabia, Russia, states of the Middle East themselves. There are multiple countries involved.
Okay, just to finish up, what's your message today to our listeners on this, the 5th anniversary of the conflict?
Well, our message to the Irish public is, to continue to empathise and show solidarity with people impacted by this crisis, to support where they can, and by all means to put political pressure where they can so that a solution is found. We don't want to be here again this time next year.
It's Sheila Kern. I'm a Mercy sister and I'm the Justice Coordinator for the Conference of Religious of Ireland and the Irish Missionary Union.
Yeah, and do you take much of an interest in Syria? I know you're here representing your organisation, but are you involved much in the whole Syria question?
Well, we're involved in working on the issue of migrants and asylum seekers and refugees. We have members who are working in Lebanon and in some of the countries abroad where there are refugees coming from. The war in Syria is into its 5th year. Of course we're interested, and our members both are trying to do lobbying and supporting for an end of the war there, but also on the front line trying to help people who are leaving Syria in search of a safe passage to the EU and indeed in a safe passage to Ireland.
And what's happening in Syria now, and has been for the last 5 years, is catastrophic, isn't it?
Well, the amount of lives of human devastation, as well as the devastation to the country itself and to its natural environment, is catastrophic, but it seems to just fall on deaf ears to the rest of the international community, who continue to stand by and watch people drown as they try to leave that country in search of safe passage, or in terms of an EU solution, or both an EU as worldwide solution, in looking at really the root causes of what produced the war in Syria in the first place.
You're a sister, eh?
I'm a sister of Mercy, yes.
All right. And your organisation, are you what church are you? One church or two churches?
Oh no, it's and the organisation is two organisations. One of them that kind of works with. They work with all of the religious that work both in Ireland and abroad as missionaries down through the years with the Catholic Church.
All right, and what's your, just to finish up, what's your message to our listeners about today, the 5th anniversary of the Syria conflict, and about the future? Because, like, you know yourself, there are peace talks going on at the moment. Like,
well, number one, that we hope that the peace talks will produce a peaceful solution for Syria. But as well as that, is that we have to open our minds and our hearts to receive the people from Syria who are looking for both a safe passage and into countries where they can rebuild their lives. Most of them want to be in their own country, and maybe one day that will happen. But at the moment we need to open our minds and hearts and to receive the Syrian people and to build bridges of solidarity with them as they struggle to come to terms with the lives that have befallen on them because of this devastation.
My name is Mick Punch, and I'm here just to show solidarity with the people of Syria who have gone through so much pain.
yeah, it's unbelievable that the conflict is 5 years old, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's a staggering fact to think that we're still looking at this as an issue, and really nothing is being done for people who are going through awful pain and tragedy in their daily lives.
And are you a supporter of Trócaire, is it?
Of Trócaire, yeah.
What is your message to our listeners listening today about what you think needs to happen?
It's important to get informed about what has been going on, and to get to know something about the terrible human consequences of the conflicts that are tearing people's lives apart. And people need to demand, I suppose, from their leaders and their governments and at EU level and at UN level for serious intervention.
My name is Paul. I suppose the reason I'm here is this is the biggest humanitarian crisis in my lifetime, and I feel that as a European, that the European institutions are letting us down badly in terms of responding to the immediate needs, and more deeply not even looking at the root causes of the whole thing in the first place.
And do you think it's kind of like, but the biggest share of the blame is on the UN Security Council?
Look at responsibility. I wrote an email to the European offices here in Dublin, and I asked them why arms from Britain, France and Germany are being sold worldwide, and I asked them to detail what amount of the arms from Europe have ended up in these countries. That's the beginning of it all, unfortunately. So.
And what's your message to our listeners today about the conflict and the future? Because there's peace talks going on now, you know, at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to try and understand that we are in some way connected to all of this, to pray to whoever God you may pray to, and if you have no God, to just enjoy life and act responsibly, and in so doing hopefully then we can actually improve the situation. But more importantly, what Trócaire are asking for, I just saw on the website there today, is that whatever government we come up with in this country prioritises peace in Syria and in the world, to be quite honest. No, thanks very much for the opportunity to say something.
Thanks.